In this video, we are going to take a look at the test-driven development book, Chapter 8, Making Objects. So on our to-do list, I've highlighted in bold the dollar-franc duplication, and we're going to be looking at that in this video. Now, right now, the two subclasses of money, dollar and franc, are nearly the same. Actually, they are the same. We literally did a cut and paste and changed a few words there. So they're definitely very much the same. A lot of duplication there that we want to address. And one longer term goal is we want to refactor them out of existence because there's really not a need to have these two subclasses. But we're going to do this step by step. And one of the first steps that we can take is to reduce the direct references to subclasses. So we're going to create a factory method on money to return dollars and francs and make that an incremental step. And we're going to do this through a test-driven approach. So I'm going to jump over to IntelliJ now and make these changes. Okay, let's take a look at the times methods first. So we can see dollar times returns basically a new dollar with the multiplier here. You can see that on line 13. And then expand this out as well. Line 13 also. So we have the nearly the same functionality there for the two methods. So let's go ahead and start refactoring this. First thing we want to do is make these return money. Let them both return money like so. Now we can see that breaks my test, and I'm going to refactor the test a little bit here. So what we can do here is we really don't even need this. Let's refactor this to be like so. You can get rid of that variable product altogether. And now our test becomes like so. And let's make sure that test is still running. Now we can do the same thing here. So I'm just refactoring this test out so we don't need that product variable. Makes the test a little bit cleaner. Now let's check our tests, see if they still run okay. So our tests are still green. Now for money, let's come in here and create a public, a static method to return back a dollar. Like so. Now we can change our test methods to use this new static method. So let's come in here. Instead of a new dollar, what we can do is say dollar, and that was so you can see the changes here that I made. So I just clicked on that to double check the changes. So now I have that factory method, that static factory method off of that. And I can change this everywhere in the test as well. And what I'm doing is I'm removing the direct references to the dollar object. So let's go ahead and run our test again. So everything's still green there. We can do a little more refactoring. So the money class is actually a good candidate to be abstract. And change it, fix that typo there. So now this is looking a little bit better for our test. And let's make sure everything is still running here. So I've got a compiler error there, that should be public. So now we should be compiling happily. Let's go ahead and run all our tests again. See, everything runs happily again. So right now, we have pretty similar functionality in the test the multiplication. So these two tests are doing the same thing. So as we continue refactoring, we can just about refactor this out. And the one thing we also want to do is we want to do the same thing for Frank as well. So on money, let's create a static method for that so we can refactor everything in a similar way. And now we can also do the same thing here. You can see what I'm doing is I'm refactoring out any references to that subclass directly. So we can also do that here, here. And get these last couple dollar instances as well. So now we're using our factory methods across the board, and we can see we're no longer declaring new objects here, and we're no longer having direct access on those. So let's go ahead and make sure everything runs again. And then the one final refactoring, I think we can change both of these to return back money objects rather than dollars. And of course, this now becomes money as well. And let's double check, make sure all our tests still run. And you can see we're going through, we're incrementally changing things to refactor that out. And you can see now all my tests, they don't have any direct references to the dollar and franc subclasses of money. So we're doing everything by the money type, which further down the road, as we continue to refactor things, that's going to make things refactoring these subclasses out of there. And now we can see also the multiplication that they're becoming pretty similar. That's going to be a candidate for refactoring. Let's go over and take a look at our to-do list now. You can see that I've crossed off the dollar franc duplication, so we're starting to refactor that out. And I've added in question down there to delete that test, the franc multiplication. So that is on our to-do list to refactor out in a future video.